Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. Today, on a Sunday morning, the following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the message, it reads like this. Good afternoon, Brother Nashim, and to all the listeners of African Confessions. Please, I beg of you, keep me anonymous. I am speaking to you from my own house, but from the inside, it feels as if it is a graveyard. You might see me today as a successful woman in a catering industry. I call myself a boss lady. I have staff and I have big contracts as well as tenders. We do supply some schools with food as well as cooking for other schools, government schools. So those are the businesses that I do, but they do not know that my foundation was not built on hard work. It was built on the things that I had to do in order for me to get where I am right now. But I regret the things that I did because I'm childless. I stay with my sister's daughters. Most of the people, they do not even know that they are not my own daughter. I adopted them, changed their surnames, and they use my own surname because I sacrificed my two daughters. In 2015, when I was only 24 years old, I was working as a checkout girl at a certain Cashbuild in Johannesburg. And working there, I was not getting a lot of money, always doing the same thing each and every day, but at least I had some money to buy myself food because I was staying at my uncle's house. I had my own shack that he had made me to build at the back. Since me and my baby daddy, we could not be with each other anymore. My baby daddy, he used to be an armed robber. Unfortunately, they bombed an ATM. He got arrested, and they found also a lot of Eskom copper cables at the house where they were staying, and they were charged, and now he is in prison. I don't know when he will be out of prison. And I could not do this on my own. I looked for a job, and lucky enough, through a nephew of mine, he found me a job at Cashbuild where I started working. I had already done a lot of courses in the retail, and it was easy for me to start working at the till. And I wanted to be rich. I was tired of being a single mom of two, even though they were beautiful daughters, but I felt like I was supposed to give them a better life. Every single cent that I earned, it was already spent before I could even get it. Have you ever had that kind of a job whereby you earn the money, and by the time it is month end, you really do not have any money anymore because you have already spent it before your salary date? So life was a little bit difficult because my uncle was okay, but my uncle's wife, she was like hating me, but in secret she did not want me to stay at her house because I was not paying any rent and taxi fares. I could not even manage to give my daughters the life that I wanted to give them. I was desperate for something. Brother Nashe, I used to look at the customers buying materials to build their mansions and wonder when it will be my turn to stop living in a shack. One Tuesday, a man walked up to my till. He did not look like our usual customers, and he was loud. As you know, that Nigerians, they are pretty loud. He was speaking on the phone. He was a Nigerian man, very tall, wearing a white shirt, so clean, and he seemed like someone that had money. He was ordering 200 bags of PPC cement. I was curious. I had never seen a man like a Nigerian. Have you ever seen a Nigerian before buying cement or any building material? This was the first time seeing a man from Nigeria buying building materials himself. Usually it was local contractors that would come and buy. I looked at him and I said, you are buying so much cement. Are you building a mall? He laughed, and when he laughed at me, he looked at me, and I saw that this man, he was a good, handsome man, and there was something about the way that he smelled so nice. He had this nice smelling cologne that he had, and he was like to me, my sister, I am in real estate I am building a beautiful house there in Santon, and I believe in checking the quality of my own materials. That was like the general conversation that me and him had. He told me his name was Emeka, not his real name. He stayed and we chatted even after the transaction was done, since I was about to go to lunch. So I accompanied him. He had a small truck. These were 2 trucks that he had, and we were supposed to load there. So I went as I was speaking with the guy with the forklift, as we were just casually talking. The next day he came back, not to buy anything, but to bring me lunch. It was not just a snack, it was a full meal. I laughed because this was the first time in my entire life eating Nigerian food. It was jollof rice and chicken, and it smelled so nice. He told me that a beautiful queen like me should not eat bread, because on that other day when he had came to buy the cement, I had bread and acha and a small bottle of juice that I had diluted. Within 2 weeks, he was picking me up after my shift in a luxury car. He started buying me things that I could only see on magazines: expensive Brazilian weaves, the newest iPhone, designer clothes. He made me feel like I was finally escaping that kind of a life that I used to live. I was tired of living in the Kasi. I thought that this was my Prince Charming from Nigeria. Was even thinking about going to Nigeria with him. I did not know that this man, he was a scout that was looking for a hungry woman so that he can buy my soul and I can donate it to him with the little money that he was going to give to me, even though he gave me a lot. But it is little money because I lost my soul, and you can never compare your soul to any amount that someone can give to you. Hence, this is why God had his own son die, because a human soul is worth a lot. By 2016, Emeka convinced me to move into a penthouse that he owned in Santon. I felt like I had arrived. I quit my job, and I did not even care. The day that I quit my job, we had this other Indian. He was from Pakistan. So this Pakistani guy, he was someone that was very racist. And the day when I left, I went to work, and then I just got up from the till and I started walking away. She asked me where the hell I was going. I told him that I was going back home, and he said that if I leave the gate of the place where we had the Cashbuild, I was going to get fired. I laughed at him and I said, okay, you can try me. He thought that I was joking. I walked out. I was modeling, and then my Nigerian guy came and picked me up. So that is how I quit my job at Cashbuild with so much pride, telling my supervisor that I would never count their money again. And then I went to Santon, looked at the house, the beautiful place. It was really beautiful, but there were other rooms that were always locked, and Emeka told me that there was no need really for me to be using the other rooms because they had the property that once belonged to his late wife. He told me that a year after he had arrived in South Africa, when his visa was about to expire, he then got married to a South African woman, and on the day when they were supposed to go for the labor, when she was in labor, that was when she had a terrible accident, and the baby was delivered through an operation, but that woman, she died moments after the baby had been delivered. He told me that his son was in Cape Town. It really felt so strange to know that in the house where I was going to be staying, in the rooms that were always locked, there was the property of a woman that used to be the wife of the man that I was now dating, and she died in a very terrible car accident. And whenever I would be fast asleep during the day, I had the habit of just staying in the lounge watching this big TV that we had mounted to the wall. And whenever I would have fallen fast asleep, I would hear that there was a woman that will be walking around all over the place, as if it was that same woman that I had been told by Emeka that she passed away. I would have violent dreams of me being in that theater room when she was being operated on. It was really terrible. And whenever I would tell him that these were the dreams that I was having, he would dismiss me. Me and Emeka, we started fighting almost on a daily basis. You know why, Brother Nashi and everyone that is listening? It was because Emeka, he never wanted to sleep with me, and then he would ejaculate inside of me. Whenever he was about to finish, he would always pull out, no matter what kind of style. Even if it was a woman on top, he would push me to the side and he would finish on his own. I did not know that these were his rituals. He was never supposed to finish making love and then he ejaculates inside of a woman, no matter what, unless if it was a man. He told me so. And I said, oh, so you are gay? He then said, no, I'm not gay. I only do this so that I can be able to satisfy the gods that follow me. He slept with men, and when we were in an open relationship, he would bring men that he would have picked up, those that love to sleep with other men. So we kept on fighting because Emeka, he was cheating on me left, right and center. One night, Emeka sat me down. He told me that since we had been fighting and our relationship was very toxic, he wanted me to be independent. And I said, okay, how do you want me to be independent? I guess you want me to find another Nigerian guy. He said, no, I want to help you. I have a responsibility. I can't return you back where I took you. I know that you can't get a job again at that Cashbuild. So he wanted me to become his partner in his spiritual business. He said, I want you to be an independent South African woman. I want you to have your own catering company. I want you to be the one hiring people instead of you being hired. I want you to stand on your own. But each and every great empire, he said, needs a sacrifice to keep it standing. I was totally naive. I thought that he meant I had to work long hours since I would be a business owner. But then he took me to the room at that same penthouse. But this room, I thought it was his former master bedroom that he used to share with his late wife. It was at the end of the hall. It was always locked at all the times. When he opened the door, the air inside it was cold. It was much even cold than a mortuary, I'm sure, even though I have never been into a mortuary before. In the center of the room, there was a large red carpet, and on it sat a python. But Brother Nashim, I swear on my life, when that snake turned its head, it did not have the face of a snake like you expect anything that is a reptile to have that kind of a snake's face. But this one, it was different. It had the face of a human baby. Tiny eyes, a small nose, and a mouth that moved like it was trying to cry, like a little human baby. I tried to run, but Emeka grabbed me, and his grip was like iron. He told me, if you leave now, you will start to run mad. The moment that you step outside, you are going to start running mad. But if you follow my orders, like I told you, I want you to stand on your own feet. You are going to be okay. Okay? He told me everything was going to be okay. If I will become like a mother to this child, I will never be poor again. He gave me some ice cold tea that he told me it was going to make me to start having my body produce milk as if I had a baby that I had given birth to. When he gave me this ice cold tea, it was bitter, and I felt my body going numb. I could not move. I could not feel anything. It's like when you go to a dentist to get your teeth removed. There is this injection that they give to you inside of your mouth. You will feel as if your gums have gotten swollen. That is exactly that I felt when I drank that tea. I could not feel anything. He laid me down on the red carpet next to that python. I felt that this python, it was moving towards me, and it was so cold and it was scaly, and this python crawled onto my chest. Then the baby face attached itself to my breast. I felt a sharp pain, and then it started drinking and then I felt that there was milk that was coming out. At first, I did not know that it was milk. I was screaming and crying in my mind because my voice was gone. I was like, all of my blood is going to be finished by this snake that is drinking from my breast. But when I was able to wake up, I saw that the snake, it was gone. When the snake was gone, I now had the energy to wake up, and I saw that from my breast there was milk that was still coming out. For 2 years, this was my secret life. Every few nights I had to enter that room. Emeka told me that this baby was the source of his wealth, as well as not ejaculating inside of a woman and sleeping with men. He then showed me this other room where he always brought the men. And this room, it looked like a normal bedroom. It had a nice TV set, a nice bed. You'll just think that this guy is just a normal Nigerian guy. He would bring his lovers in there and he would sleep with them, and he would be using them for rituals. He told me that usually he would give a guy about 6, 7 or 8k. And at this other club where a lot of men hang out, those that love to sleep with other men, they knew that he was a good blesser, but they did not know that he was using them for rituals. So this snake, it was not all about milk. I would take it, I would bath it in that same big bedroom. It had an ensuite. There was a big jacuzzi in there. If it was a day when I would be on my period, that was the day that I had to wash this snake, and I would buy fresh milk. I would first go to Pick n Pay, Checkers. I would even go to your little grocery stores, because you can't buy like 20 bottles of milk, fresh milk in one shop. So I would buy 10 here, 10 there, 10 here, 10 there, and when I would come back, I would pour that milk into the jacuzzi. Then after that, I would then open the water. It was never supposed to be too cold or too hot. It was supposed to be in between. Then after that, the snake will jump into the jacuzzi. Then I would also get in there, and remember that I'll be on my period, not wearing anything. So even the water, the blood, it will also paint the water so that there will be a little bit of blood here and there. And after bathing, I would not even dry myself. This water, I don't know where it will go to. It will just drink a little bit, maybe about 300 milliliters of the water that will be in the jacuzzi without any soap. Then the water will disappear. After the water would have disappeared, still in the jacuzzi, then this snake will let me sit down. Then it will start to lick me in between as well as my breast. I was like a mother to this snake. During those years, I started to see that whenever I would be walking around, I would also see the shadows of people in the mirrors of the house. When I would go to the mall, I would always feel that there is someone that is following me. It's either I would see a dark reflection of a snake in the shop windows, or I would see a tall, big man standing right behind me. These were my bodyguards, for I was never supposed to sleep with any man at all. These were my bodyguards. They would make sure that I would never tell anyone. If I would tell anyone, then they would hit me with such a mental disease like I could never even recover from. But the money, it started coming to me like a flood. Emeka then told me that it was time for me to start operating my business as if it was a real business, so that I can be able to get some government tenders. Emeka gave me 500,000, but this money that I got, it was not cash. He took me to places where I could go and buy like the equipment that I will be using in my catering business, including the trailers and the whatnot. So then I started my catering business. Contracts started coming to me. I can safely say that contracts, they were like falling from the sky. I did not even have to try that big. And the biggest company in Joburg, they would always call me. They would always tell me that they wanted me to come to their facilities and to offer them my services. I can pretty say that life was okay. There was a lady that I once hired. This woman, I'm telling you, she was a real woman of God. I don't know if Emeka was able to win her, because he started sending his Nigerian friends to make her stop praying. She was such a prayer warrior. That woman, she was the one that was responsible for hiring people if we had a big function where we were supposed to offer our catering services. She was like a human resource manager there in Pretoria, and she was one hell of a prayer warrior. When she came to our penthouse in Senton, she told me that this house was not okay. I was supposed to dump my Nigerian boyfriend. So my Nigerian boyfriend then started to send other rich Nigerian guys so that they can date him and they can steal the glory that she had. I don't know what happened to her. As for Emeka, he refused to tell me, to share with me any details after I had fired that woman, because she was making things bad for me in my business. So my catering business grew so fast. It was so scary. I was even afraid of the way that I was growing as a businesswoman. I was providing food even for government events, high profile weddings, and corporate galas. I bought my own small trucks, like the ones that we were using to carry tents as well as other things, not those big trucks. Brother Nashi, I had refrigerated vans that were always busy, and I moved my two daughters into a top tier boarding private school. I told myself that I am doing this for them. If I have to suffer in Senton breastfeeding a python whenever it wants my milk, whenever it wants my period blood, let me do it. At least my children will have a future. They won't have to go through what I am going through right now. As my business grew, the face of that python, it started to look more like that of an adult man, but like a Nigerian. It started demanding more. As for Emeka, he told me that this snake, I was supposed to do a final sacrifice so that I can move out of his house. And if I just move out of his house without doing a sacrifice, then I will go broke. This was the first time that I realized that when you are involved in these rituals, you have to move from one step to another. It's not like once you do one sacrifice, then it's a guarantee that you're always going to have money. He told me that the money that I had, it was like for rental. Since I had been breastfeeding his snake, the snake had been blessing me, but I could not take the snake to my house so that it can give me money without Emeka being involved. So I then asked him what was it that was needed. I was then told that in order for me to be able to keep on making money, I was supposed to sacrifice one amongst my daughter to this snake. So I did like I had to, even though I did not want. What made me to end up sacrificing, it was because I started having terrible nightmares. I would dream that I was back at Cashbuild, but instead of cement bags, I would be stacking coffins. I would see my daughter in my dream reaching out to me, but I would see my daughter inside a grave. I tried to pray, but how can you pray when you are benefiting from these rituals? Then I even went to a Sangoma. This is what made me to sacrifice my second daughter, because it was a punishment for going to another Sangoma in secret. When I went to him, she said to me, "You are carrying a foreign demon that is going to eat your own daughters. I can't help you." I went back to Emeka and I begged him to let me go. And then he told me that he could not do that. But if I really wanted to go on my own, then he was going to take the catering business, the money, the cars and everything. I wanted my peace back. But you know, when you talk about peace, when you are poor and when you are rich, peace is two different things. Peace for me meant that I had to move out of Senton, return back to that shack where I used to stay at my uncle's house with my auntie, always doing all those bad stuff to me because she felt like I did not even deserve to be there. So then finally, I just agreed that it was okay. It really did not matter. I was going to continue doing those sacrifices. So then I made the sacrifices. After I had done the sacrifice, it was in late 2017. I was at a massive event. I was catering in Pretoria. My phone rang and it was my mom. And when my mom called me, I knew that there was something bad that had happened. She told me that my remaining daughter, she was the only one that I had. She had been killed, and we never found the man that hit him. My daughter was walking home from her extra lessons when a car being driven by a man who just ran away, he plowed into them, killing them instantly. I rushed to where it had happened, but I was too late. When I got there, the police, they were already covering them because they were already dead. Brother Nashim, I knelt down, but as I knelt down, to this very day, I saw something that haunts me. I saw an angel that was taking the soul of my daughter and flying high into the sky. Then I saw in another vision the way that I'm going to die. I am going to be killed by a car, and this car that is going to kill me, I saw that it is my own car, and this car, it will just kill me even though the engine will be off. And to this very day, I'm someone that is very paranoid about cars. When I park a vehicle, I take bricks and then I make sure that at the back of each and every wheel I put a brick so that a car will not drive itself and then kill me, because I was told in that vision that the same way that my daughter has died, her being plowed by a car until she died, that is the same way that I'm going to die. But then I heard a voice. It's like a voice that spoke from hell. It said, look, this car that is going to kill you, it is not being driven by anyone. So indeed, I saw that the car was not being driven by anyone and it belonged to me. So I don't know what kind of a mistake I'm going to make one day. Maybe a car is going to drive itself when I am not looking at it, then I'm going to die. And I saw my head, it was smashed by the wheels of that car. And it is something that gives me a lot of paranoia about cars. I make sure that when I am walking, I walk as far as possible from cars that are parked, because I have paranoia. I am still having these terrible dreams. As for Emeka, he's still doing his stuff. I am staying in Midrand right now, and I'm still running my catering business. I'm someone that is wealthy, but this money that I have, it can't do anything for me. I can't take care of my relatives. They just know that they have their auntie who is wealthy, who stays in Midrand, and I have other properties as well around Gauteng. I have everything that a woman could ever want, but I am childless. I spend my nights in my empty house, and if I feel like it, I can bring in this young man that you call Ben 10, then we drink alcohol, we go to expensive clubs, we come back, we sleep with each other. It's all vanity. I am not doing anything with my life except for living for these rituals. Even those that work for me, I feel sorry for them because they can't really do anything with the money that I give them as part of their salaries, because it is ritual money. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us speak with our sister in the comment section. She's saying that she is afraid if she sees a car that is parked, she'll start to get so scared because she thinks that maybe the car is going to kill her. Let us meet again in the following episode.